We really wanted to maximize the rest opportunity here. He's planning on playing, but it still has to go down this way.
Pete, when I watched the film, I was really impressed with Antonio and with Caleb. Neither was perfect, but impressed with how they played it. Any thought about getting them both at the same time at guard?
Yeah, that's kind of how it's come out. They've been pretty even battling out there. They have different strengths, and so unique to themselves. And so we like both those guys, and they both practiced well this week.
How much of an impact when Michael Mayer is not able to play have you seen in compared to those games that you have?
Yeah, well, he's an important player to us. He does a lot of things for us, and a lot of unique things that we like doing with him and count on him. Special teams as well. He's got a real role there. So we're going to miss Mike not going, and hopefully we'll get him back next week.
Pete, in regards to Jordan Meredith, are you anticipating him to play as well after missing?
Yeah, he looked pretty good during the week. Yeah, I think he made it through the week, so we have the chance to make that decision that he goes.
Will he be moved back to center, or?
We'll show you when we get to game time. It's always a good try.
You guys have, the stats are correct, run cover 3 about 47% of the time this year. Pretty large difference from many other teams around the league. And I know you kind of built your resume on that style of defense. I'm just curious, as other teams have kind of shifted away from the usage, at least at that rate, why is it that you feel that is still an effective approach?
That's a good way of saying it at that rate. There's still a lot of cover 3 played around the league, but we're just trying to get really good at some basics and the things that we really count on, and then we mix our variety of things throughout. We don't want to be really predictable, but yet we also want them to have to beat us. So we're trying to learn how to play that way.
Pete, Aiden's been the emergency quarterback for the last 2 weeks. Is there an opportunity that he can overcome that and become the backup quarterback? What kind of goes into the decisions like that, especially this?
Yeah, there is an opportunity, and that's why we're mixing those guys during practice time. I know you guys don't get to see that, but Kenny gets work in, Aiden gets work, and we try to get Aiden as much competitive ops as he can to see, to bring him back as fast as we can. What goes into it is it's a gut feeling once we get to it, and both guys are showing that they're ready to go and play. And Kenny had a really big day the day that Gino had to sit out, and it gave him just a real good op to show us that he's ready to run the offense.
I know that for players to play, they have to earn it in practice. Is Grant stepping forward, that the rookie tackle, is he stepping forward and getting close to earning some game reps, you think?
He is doing a good job. He is working all the time throughout. He's closer to being in the game than he's been at any other time. And so, I would love for him to get some play time.
Obviously, throughout the course of the season, Trey Tucker's been asked to kind of take on a bigger approach in how you handle the offense, not just from what he does on the field, but just kind of as a leader for those younger receivers. What's the biggest things that you've noticed from him?
Man, Trey Tucker is so steady. Every day, everything that we do, he just gives everything he's got. He's so fast that it always shows up on the practice film. Gino's always hunting him up whenever he can. He is, and he doesn't say a lot. He's not a guy that's try to holler at other guys. He just does the work, and so he does affect other people. He is a leader in that regard, just because his work habits are so consistent. It's like as good as anybody on our team. And so when we've called on him, when we've gone to him, he's come to him and done well, and we would love to see him finish big down the stretch here.
On the back end of that as well, how important do you think that him and also Jack and Dante are going to be in the game plan with how much attention Brock has been getting lately?
Yeah, you're going to see that that Dante's not going to be up in this game. Okay, that's coming up. And so Jack has got a lot of involvement in this game, and hopefully he can do a nice job. You'll see. Well, wait, and you'll see who we're going with. But in this one, Dante's not going to make it.
You played 10 rookies last week, which you're playing a lot of them. Would you talk about this class just in general, please?
Yeah, well, everybody's got a chance to be a starter of our guys, and that's a really good trait. And so we just want to keep them growing and keep them being part of what's going on here, and so they become familiar with the game and they're comfortable with it. And so when we come back around and it's the next turn for these guys, they'll feel like they've played a lot of football. So that's the whole idea.
You've also got, I think it's 19 guys. You take Jackson Powers out, Johnson out, or else it'll be more. 19 first or second year players, and you're too deep. Is that based on your experience, a little bit on the high end, and how do you kind of navigate that?
That is on the high end. I don't remember our numbers back when we started in Seattle, but that would be freshmen and sophomores, and playing all that time at SC when we've never been that heavy. So it shows you that the roster is competitive, and we're trying to give guys an opportunity to show where they fit. And I want everybody alive in the planning as much as we can to keep them going, to keep them driving, to make their spot.
Pete, we saw you chatting with Gino Smith during stretch, and obviously we heard a lot about y'all's relationship during the offseason. You've had more adversity together this season than you usually did in Seattle. How has that relationship been this season, those conversations, and you guys keeping that bond together? I
think it's been really important because we started so far off. We got all those picks that started out early in the season. It was to me, it was a real effort to just keep Gino clear and not carry the burden of all of that into the rest of the season, because it happened early and it was it was significant. It wasn't all him at any time. There's a lot of things that go into all of that, but he's been around long enough that he knows he's going to carry the burden, and he's going to be the one everybody's pointing the finger at and all that. And so I wanted to make sure and stay with him and hang through that and get him back to his football and back where he could play really clean. And he really has turned the corner in that regard. We haven't been as productive as we want to be and need to be, but his role in it and his efficiency is really much more on point than it's been as it was early in the season. And there's reasons for that. We'll talk about that in the off season, but our relationship has been really crucial. And I talk to him regularly. You saw me once on the field. I don't even know what that was. But we're always in communication. And I think that between Greg and Nate and I, we know Gino the best of anybody. And so we think we can pull out the best he has to offer. And he's aggressive, and he's competitive, and he's tough. And he carries the burden of this. It's hard to deal with it, but yet he has. And, there's been the times along the way, when there's been some questions, but he wants to be that guy in that situation, and he wants it to go right and go well. And so he's battling just in a really admirable way. And this is the guy that I've been counting on.
When you change a coordinator in the middle of the season, it's hard to move the ship even 1 or 2 degrees. But you could definitely see some things Greg was trying to do. And how excited are you that each week he's going to be able to do a little bit more?
I appreciate the nautical reference. The first week was just drinking from a fire hose. I mean, there's so many things that he was trying to get organized and get ready and connect with the coaches and the players and the meetings and all of the things. It's hard to imagine all of a sudden being thrusted into that. He does have some background. He's seen it before, and he knows how to get that done. I thought he did a really good job last week of just connecting and kind of the feeling of how we move forward. This week, the next couple of weeks, will really be a way better indicator of what we're doing and how we're doing things and how we'd like to try to grow with the guys that we have and draw from the coaches and the players to make that happen.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks.
Are you trying to grab this?
No.
Nautical reference. Yes. Nautical reference. Pretty good old Mike Wood show business.